مرحبا أميرة.
أهلا إلانا كيفك؟ حالك اليوم؟
Good. I'm good. My Arabic is limited.
Yeah, my Hebrew too, don't worry.
So I'm really excited. Soon we're going to be starting season 4 together with you as our new co-host. Yay!
Yes, and so many beautiful people. I looked at the Google Doc and I'm so excited to bring those voices out there for people to see that good people still exist in this country. Not everybody is, extreme on both sides.
There are good people.
Good people and people who really want to live, and that's it. And to live and to be seen, and that's it. So yes, I'm so excited about season 4.
Yeah, and I love what you're saying, that we're like looking for the good people.
Yes.
We're looking for the good people.
There are a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just their voices is not being amplified enough. Yeah. And they are also afraid, of course. I know the fear comes in, but that's why we are here, to bring their voice out there.
Yeah. You know what I heard once? I heard somebody say, we need, instead of just a Ministry of Defense, we need a Ministry of Peace.
Yes.
We've talked about this, how like there's no, we're not investing in peace. And like, I feel like something about that speaks to how we often are like busy highlighting the fear and the, and the anger, instead of, if we would take the time to look for the people who are dedicated to peace, people dedicated, and really support them and give them platforms and power, that it would be a whole different world,
Yes, but that's how the world is. War and hatred is a good business. Peace is not a good business.
If it bleeds, it leads.
If if you do peace now and we go and eat together and khalas, our life is fine, how the governments will benefit? How will they sell the guns and bombs and tanks and Apaches?
Right.
So war is really a good business and peace is not. So that's why, and we have to fight that. We have to fight, because you could make much more money if you invest not in war but like in other stuff. There are lots of things that you can benefit of.
Yes.
More resorts and more swimming pools, for example.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, like, right now we're experiencing some kind of turning point, right? So, I was interviewed this week for The Forward, where the reporter was asking this question: is Israel in some kind of turning point, especially after these months of starvation of kids in Gaza, and we're seeing all these pictures? I know for me it's really affected me personally, which is why like this week I really felt this very strong urge to like speak out a little bit more. But also I think that maybe there are other people like that, like Yair Golan, for example, who spoke out on, he's a general in the IDF, and he called, the IDF is, the government is killing babies as a hobby. He said that, and like, so of course he got really attacked. He got like all these calls, even from, people who he thought were allies on the left or whatever, who were like, no, we got to kick him out of the army, remove all of his ranks and all of that. And there were calls to stop him from being a speaker at this, the WZO conference. And also, by the way, he's the head of a new political party that used to be Labor. Now it's the Democratic Party or whatever. So he's the head of a very important political party. And suddenly all these people are like, what? How could you say such a thing? But at the same time, I felt on social media, there were a lot of people like celebrating him. On the grassroots, there were a lot of people saying, it's about time, and he's right. And, on my feed also, I am hearing a lot of people saying, something's been happening in this last, I can't hold back anymore. It's just too much. It's just too much. I tried to like restrain myself. I tried to say, no, it's not that bad. But it is that bad. It really is that bad. And so, the question is there change happening in the grassroots, against all this? For sure, we know that the government is fear-mongering. The government is, doing all of that, and the dehumanization that we talk about all the time. The government is doing that. But I have like a real question about whether or not in the grassroots in Israeli society, something is shifting for some people.
For me, as Amira, and as someone who worked since I was a little girl, actually, with the grassroots and the Israeli-Palestinian initiatives and peace talks and dialogue and so on, believe me, I see the change. I see it very clearly.
Wow.
The only problem with these people that they don't believe that they can make a change. You know, they don't believe in themselves. They think that because, you know, those like right wings or like people who are like louder and like more extreme are more stronger. No, but you are too. Don't feel that you are too small or you cannot do anything. But by posting one post on social media, you can get people changing their mind. By sending pictures, evidence, by speaking, by coming and visiting us in the West Bank, by showing the people who are now behind these like apartheid wall, that there are others on the other side that we can be friends with, that we can live with. That's how we lived in the past. Come on, you know. In the past, I remember stories from like our ancestors saying that on a Shabbat they would go, my family for example, to do to light things for Jewish people, you know, for Shabbat. So really it's like these people who are on the grassroots level, they are changing. They change. They even, you see, even on the level of social media, you can see the messages are so different from, like, for example, before the ceasefire and after the ceasefire happened, and then when the ceasefire was broken, you can see how it all shifted. Like before, you could see it was all about the hostages, which is legitimate for them. Then everybody was like really happy about, like, you know, the hostages releases and so on. But then when Bibi Netanyahu broke the ceasefire, you could see how the language changed.
Really interesting.
I can see it because I'm like, you know, I'm a Palestinian, and then I can see it on like my social media from my like Israeli friends. I have so many of them on my Facebook, so I could see that.
I mean, it's encouraging. You know, I sometimes wonder what kind of bubble I live in, so it's like helpful for me. I also feel like something is changing, you know, also in myself. You know, I feel like I'm getting angrier and angrier all the time. I'm getting angrier and angrier, and also like, it's not just anger, it's like this urgency of just like screaming
and saying,
you know?
Khalas, you know, like every day, you know, Elana, I feel like I want to hold my like Instagram and go on a live and like shout and scream and cry and tell, not the world, I don't care about the world, I want to talk with the Israelis, just like my neighbors, just like few meters away from my house. Tell them, like, hello, don't let them lie to you, don't let them dehumanizing you, not us, because by making you hate and seeing starvation and famine as a normal thing, because those people they deserve because they are Hamas, because they are not innocent, because this, because that, don't make them turn into monsters. This is not a human being. This is dehumanization. Actually, by dehumanizing us, you are dehumanizing yourself.
That's all true. I really worry actually about, once this is all over, okay, hopefully, God willing, Bezrat Hashem, inshallah, this will be over soon. And then we could get to the work of like creating long-term solutions and figuring out a real long-term plan. There are so many people working on that. So I have like a lot of hope. I have a lot resting on all the different organizations, on AllMep with their 170 organizations doing that. I have a lot of hope in that. You know, when we start that work, the worry that I have besides that long-term is about the souls of Israelis. You know, all, you know, the kids being sent to the army at 18-year-old. And, you know, it's very hard to resist that culture. It's really hard to push back against the Israeli military-centric culture. You know, to push back against that, you know, you're pushing back against everything you know, and all the mythology and all the narratives of heroism and all the narratives about what Jews are and what makes us, all of that. So it's really hard. And then you go into the army, and then you do these things. And it's like, we're going to have to deal with that. And it's already happening. I mean, there's already tons of like PTSD and suicides and all of that, you know, the government tries not to talk about too much, but it's there, and we know why. We know why soldiers have PTSD and suicide. We know why, exactly why. And that's about our souls, like who we are as a people. We're gonna have to face that. And, you know, I'm concerned about that day. I'm sad about that day, but I hope it comes soon, that we could start healing all of it. We can start healing relationships between neighbors, create a normalcy for all of us, and then do the work of healing our souls of who we are.
Yes, healing and then reconciliation. We need to work on these two topics. And they are not just topics. They are the essence of our existence here in this country, on this land. At the end of the day, I say it and I will say it and I will say it forever. Nobody is leaving. Nobody is leaving. Neither us, neither you guys.
Yeah.
And we have to get to a point where we are living together. Whether you like it or I like it or I don't like it, or that person who is sitting in the United States or from the diaspora or from like the refugees, there is a reality here that we cannot change, neither for you, neither for us. And we have to find the way to really find the way. Maybe at the beginning, 2-state solution, 3-state federation. I don't care.
I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way.
Name it. You want to be the majority because you are afraid to be the minority. Fine. Okay, be the majority. Just give us a solution.
Solution, exactly.
Just stop the violence, stop the blood, because the more you kill, the more you will be killed. That's how I believe. More violence.
I 1,000% agree with you. All right, so we're going to do our part here. Season 4, Women Ending War. We're gonna do this. We're gonna put our voices out there and give power to these ideas. And inshallah.
Yes,
yay, excited. Thank you, Amira.
See you soon.
Soon.
Bye.